This property will make money every single month without a single tenant paying me directly. The strategy I'm using for this property is called temporary accommodation, and I acquired the property via another strategy called rent to rent. This is a strategy I've been doing over the past 7 years, and I now have over 90 rent to social housing deals. Come inside, I'm going to break it down and show you exactly how it works. So we've just got the keys coming through. This is the living room. So already we've started to make progress. Sofas have now been delivered. The property will be ready for tenants to start moving in next week. But what is temporary accommodation? Temporary accommodation is a stopgap in the market. It is a necessity. It's for people that find themselves without a permanent home. This could be due to domestic violence, homelessness, or a natural disaster such as flood or fire in their property. So landlords love this option because the rent is guaranteed by the council. So it also gives an opportunity for property entrepreneurs to become a provider, house the tenants, but also offer the guaranteed rent to the landlord. And that is exactly what I've done on this property. So this particular property is a 5-bed. It's actually very simple to get it up to standard. It just needs to be HMO compliant. So that means fire doors, emergency lighting, a fire alarm system. So fire doors come with the hinges. We've also got a brand new fire alarm on this property. Another great thing about this house is all the communal areas have light sensors. This is something that I've started to implement across the board in our properties because tenants tend to leave the lights on. I've gone to properties in the middle of the day and all the lights will just be on 24/7. So light sensors is something I'd highly recommend to keep the bills down. So this is the kitchen, and again, it's not like a glamorous kitchen, it's not a glamorous finish. However, it's a clean, fit for purpose product that's going to serve the purpose. And all this, the landlord replaced the worktops, replaced the cupboards. He also replaced the cooker and the washing machine. Now, one of the things that I've learned over the years, I've been in this business now for 7 years, is that you don't want to overpromise and underdeliver. You want to underpromise and overdeliver. And what I mean by that is, in the negotiation phase of a deal, you've got to really understand your worth. You've got to really understand the service and the value that you're bringing to the table. And for me personally, I know that we're a social housing provider. We have multiple different exits that we can use this asset for. We can do supported accommodation and we can also do temporary accommodation as well. Now, the beauty about this strategy is that we can offer the landlord guaranteed rent, zero hassle, zero voids, zero maintenance. We manage the property and we can offer the utmost financial stability because we are working directly with the government and also providing a government-backed contract. So that in itself holds a lot of weight, holds a lot of power. Back in the day when we used to take in properties, I'll be doing a lot of the refurb myself. I'll be fitting a lot of the white goods and getting them myself. Now, we actually negotiate this within the package because we want to be in a position that once we've got the property, we can just start cracking on. We can get tenants in there as quick as possible. And then our responsibility now will be to look after it and ensure that everything is in working order. And if the landlord wants the property back in the future, they'll get all the goods that they're provided in the same condition. This property will have 5 individual tenants in there. So for me, good quality furniture is essential. So shout out to my guys at One Furniture Outlet. They provide all my furniture for me at my properties. And one of the things that we do is we also get PVC mattresses, which is basically waterproof, because you tend to find that sometimes the mattresses don't really get respected, and it just means that we can keep the mattresses clean and they're fully wipeable. So it keeps everything fresh and new. And over here, you've got a sink and a bit of kitchen space so they can put their fridge. They've got space for their cupboards, which again works really well. When you've got 5 individuals living in a property and they're all sharing a kitchen, sometimes it becomes a bit of a nightmare because you'll get calls at 6 a.m. in the morning saying someone stole my butter, someone stole my ham, and honestly, it becomes a bit of a nightmare. So one of the things that we always try and do now is put cupboards in the rooms as much as possible so that they can have all their goods and their fridge in their room, and it just saves a headache. We've also got a built-in wardrobe as well, so again, that makes things a lot simpler and easier. Also, we'll be able to just sort of utilize the space as much as possible. All we need to do in this room now is get some curtains and it's good to go. So here we are in room number 4. So this is a bit of a weird layout. I've never actually seen it like this before. But again, it serves a purpose and it will work. This property was previously run by another social housing company and unfortunately it was poorly run. So the landlord was a bit horrified when he came back and there was all sorts going on in the property. So the landlord took the property back, refurbed it, he painted the whole property, changed the fire alarm, and he also got new carpets as well. This, again, it's a bit of a weird layout, but showers here. I need to get like a bath mat to go outside there. Again, you've got your kitchen area, your cupboard space, you've got a little fridge inside there as well. There is a sink over there. And again, you've got your built-in wardrobe space. PVC double mattress, again, so that will serve the purpose. And yeah, the room's good to go. So there's two ways that you can actually do this strategy. The first way is actually by calling the council directly and becoming a provider. I'm actually providing the service, managing the property, managing the tenants. That's one way. The second way you can do it is by a strategy called back-to-back leasing. Back-to-back leasing is an absolute game changer. What that is basically finding providers like myself and becoming the middleman. So essentially, you will do a back-to-back lease through the landlord and then you'll lease it onto a provider. The real game changer about doing the back-to-back lease is there are zero operations. So you'll call a provider, you'll find out the 3 core questions, what areas you're looking for, what specific types of properties do you need, and what's the rent settings that you pay. Once you've got a clear understanding of what that is, you can then go out there, find the property and essentially negotiate a rent that's lower than what the provider will pay, and then marry the two together, you start making your profit in between. People doing this literally making between £500 to £1,000 a month just by doing back-to-back leases and not actually having to worry about the property, the tenants, or the management of the property. So it's a very clever way of doing it. So there's lots of different strategies within the social housing and temporary accommodation space. Typically, you'll make anything from £1,000 to £3,000 a month on average. This specific property, once it's fully lit, I will make £2,500 per month. So not bad. Obviously, I have to manage the property, manage the tenants, keep the property full as well. But different councils work differently. Some councils, they find the tenants for you. Some councils, you have to find the tenants yourself. Some councils, it might just be one family in a house. Some councils, you might do it as a HMO setup where you've got individual rooms. I do tend to find that when it's individual rooms as opposed to a family, you can make more money. However, it's more management involved and it is a bit more headache. So I think it's good to have a mixture of both. So there you have it, my temporary accommodation video walk around of exactly how it works and more importantly, how you can actually get involved too. But before we end the video, I want to leave you with my top 5 tips on temporary accommodation. Tip number 1 is understand the rules of the game. Guys, this is so important because you need to understand exactly what the safety requirements are. You need to understand exactly what you're getting yourself into. And in my opinion, this is what separates the professionals and the amateurs, because the professionals do their due diligence and they understand the game inside and out, so that when it comes to the point of actually acquiring the property, they're able to impress the council by getting passes straight away. And they also do it at a higher standard because they really do understand what they're doing. Tip number 2 is build relationships with agents and landlords. Now, property really is a relationship-based game. You've got to go out there and build the foundation. And honestly, if you do the work of building the right relationships, you won't struggle to find properties. But how you actually position this is by understanding what the problem the landlord's facing and also what the agent's facing, and offer your service, your product as a solution to their problem. If you can do that and they can see the value that you're providing to their business, if they're an agent, or to their property and to their life if they're a landlord, then they've got no reason not to go ahead with you. Third tip is focus on council demand, not just the location. Now, this is huge because a lot of people put themselves in the box by saying that they only want to invest where they live, but what you're doing with that mindset is missing out on huge opportunities around the country. Now, one of the great things about temporary accommodation is it's quite easy to systemize. Once a tenant's in that property, because there's no actual support needed to that tenant, it's just the management of the properties, but it's very easy for you to outsource that process. So what I would do firstly is have a spreadsheet of all the councils you've contacted, maybe get yourself a CRM system, and then also have a breakdown of what the average rent is in that area. And then from that exercise, you can clearly see which one is most profitable and which one makes more business sense. And then you can then go ahead and start scaling in that location. Number 4 is nail your compliance and setup. So as I said earlier, you need to ensure that you understand exactly what the council requirements are, but then also you need to ensure that you have competent and reliable tradesmen in place to be able to do the job and do any sort of remedial work. And also furnishings, you're going to need to furnish the property. Different councils have different requirements of exactly what's needed. Some councils, you might need to buy a full set of bedroom furniture. Some councils might just ask you to provide a bed, then the councils expect the tenant to provide the rest of the bedroom furniture. So again, this all comes with understanding what is required, but also ensuring that you've got good suppliers that are ready to deliver in a reasonable time frame. And then my final tip is start small and scale fast. Now, once you close your first property, it almost has like a snowball effect. it's like a springboard. And the reason why is because you have more confidence and you understand what you're doing, but also as well, you've got more social proof. So when you're speaking to other landlords, agents, and even other councils, you've got proof of concept, you've got something tangible to showcase exactly what you've done and how you've been able to help this landlord, how you've been able to help this tenant and also the council. That will definitely help and propel your journey. So guys, I do actually run a training and mentorship program where I teach you step by step how to do this properly, how to overcome objections and obstacles so that you have more clarity and confidence to take action. So if you did want to find out exactly how it all works and more importantly how you can get involved, then just click the link in the description. See you in the next video.